Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Adventures on Tap live stream here on Twitch, where we're playing Candela Obscura. Now, if this is your first time joining us, let me introduce Adventures on Tap to you. We are a group in Central Florida built upon the principles of uplifting local businesses, local charities, and local tabletop gamers. We play normally Dungeons and Dragons, but tonight we're going to play one of our alternate games. This is Candela Obscura. We play in some of the best local Florida breweries, and we raise money for local charities and to help out the local community. Now, our events are open to all ages and all experience levels. So if you haven't checked us out before, please come say hello. Now, tonight, we're raising money for Child's Play. Child's Play charity is rooted in the healing power of play. Endowed by the gaming community, Child's Play is devoted to improving the lives of children and teens in children's hospitals. So if you're feeling generous, please feel free to donate to us and we will celebrate. Now, I've talked enough about what we do. Let's talk about who you see on the screen in front of you. I am KP. I am one of the dungeon masters for Adventures on Tap, and I will be your game master tonight. Going next, we have Nick.
Hi, I'm Nick. I am also a dungeon master and founder of Adventures on Tap. Tonight, I will be playing Dick Jones, detective, and sailor man. And because of that, I don't have a local beer with me tonight, so I went for an old trusted Sailor Jerry's. So we'll be drinking rum tonight. And that's it for me. Cheers.
Cheers. We have Kat.
Hey y'all, token female here, just for this game. I am the charity coordinator and vendor relations person for Adventures on Tap. I am not in Central Florida. I am actually in Pennsylvania. So my local brewery actually down the street from me is Victory. So I am drinking today the Juicy Monkey IPA. And I am going to be playing Aoife Ketterling tonight.
Wonderful. Moving on to Jackson.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jackson. I'm one of the speakers with Adventures on Tap. You may have seen my other cohort, Joe, on the Wednesday night stream. But I am tonight playing Phineas Twig, fashion journalist for the city of New Fair. So keep your eyes peeled for my articles out there. Anyway, I am drinking tonight the Florida Sunshine Mango from Crooked Can up in Winter Garden. So excited to try it out. Big fan of mango over here. That's it for me.
All right, moving on. We have Josh.
I'm Josh. I'm one of the DMs for Adventures on Tap. Been with them probably since, about 2 years now. Tonight I'm drinking Fancy George from Bojan's. It's pretty good. First time trying it. And tonight I will be playing Professor Elias Quill, an eccentric professor who he might know a great recipe for bread. He might think that the world's ending on Tuesday. You never really know.
And he might just be right. And last but not least, we have Pat.
Hello, my name is Patrick, and I have DM for Adventures on Tap and been playing with them for 3-4 years now. Time's going by quick, but I will be playing Vidian Maris, a purveyor, collector of naval treasures.
All right. Well, cheers, everyone. We will do the official cheers for Adventures on Tap when we get into our live play. But for now, let's jump into a little bit about Candela Obscura and our Session 0. The system we are using is called the Illuminated World System. It uses D6s with gilded dice, separate D6s that have special abilities when you roll an action and choose to use that dice. Now, the world that we're set in is early 1900s, a little vibe of steampunk, industrial, gritty, but most importantly, it's a world that is not a true believer in magic, but magic is everywhere around there. Now, magic is something that can be infused in mundane objects or beings, and it can permanently alter them. if the thinning between realms is opened wide enough, creatures can even come through. Anything that is affected by magic is known as a phenomenon. The other aspect to know is bleed. It's the corruptive force left behind by powerful magic. When exposed to too much bleed, it may take over certain aspects. You can be taken over by a supernatural focus, become corrupted, or even die. So bleed is something to watch out for. Now we're going to pull open a character sheet here and go through the basics of this sheet. All right. So at the top, you will see your name, pronouns, the circle. For today, our circle will be the Circle of the Sleeping Shore. Style could be the style of play, style of your character, a little bit about the personality. Catalyst and questions are more advanced than we're going to touch on today, but there are: why did you get involved with the Candela Obscura? What drives you? What caused your awareness of magic? Like I said, magic is not well believed or noticed by many of the common folk. So something has happened that causes you to be aware of it. On the left hand of the sheet, you will have 3 drives. This is nerve, cunning, and intuition. Those have 3 subsections to them. So for nerve, these are your actions: move, strike, or control. And in more detail, move can run, dodge, or navigate. Strike can punch, break, or knock down something. And control will be to drive, shoot, because in this world, there are weapons like guns. And finesse checks. When it is time to take an action, I will tell you that you need to make an action roll, make a strike check, make a control action. If you wish to use a different skill, a different action, you can tell me and convince me, and I will hear you out and weigh the options. So when we get into the circles on your sheet, so everyone should pull up the sheet they have now in front of you. Each role and specialty will have different sheets with some predetermined stats. For example, I'm looking up the role face with a specialty magician right now. And I see under cunning, I have a diamond filled in 2 circles. So the diamond represents gilded. If you have an action and you're using your gilded action, you replace one of your D6 dice with your gilded dice. And if you choose to use that result, you earn back one of your drives. Now, let's go ahead and fill in some extras. The circles represent how many dice you roll on the action. So if you see 2 circles filled in, you roll 2 d6s. If one of those, if you have a diamond on there, one of those would be your gilded. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Great. So in drive, wherever you wish to, you can put 6 additional points. So this is going to be however it reflects your character. You can add extra drive. So those little columns you see, you can choose to put 6 wherever you wish.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I notice that my pre-generated character sheet, or the one for my class, right, has max filled in some of the drive boxes. Can I fill in ones that don't have a max?
Yes, your max will be whatever you choose to start with. That will become your max.
Okay, thank you.
And as you use your drives, you'll erase the top part, never erase the bottom part. So you always remember, because you gain back your drives when you take gilded actions and use the gilded dice. There are other ways to earn back drives as well.
So we should only have 1 gilded action.
You have 1 gilded action for now.
Got it.
For every 3 blocks of drive you have, you can fill in the triangle below it that says resistance. Resistance can be used if you do not like the result of your dice roll, your action. you can burn your resistance and re-roll the number of dice in that action. For example, if you want to make a hide check and you fail, you roll a 1 on your dice. You can use your resistance if you have one to re-roll that 1 dice.
Do resistances burn?
Resistances, you do burn them when you use them.
How do you get that? How's that replenished? Because I know drive replenishes with gilded actions. Does resistance replenish at all?
Usually once the mission is complete or the day is complete.
Okay, once per
So,
session.
If you only have one, it's burnt at the.
Yes.
Gotcha.
There may be special abilities that someone has that brings that back. So if you find that on your sheet, you can let us all know.
Nope.
Okay, so has everyone put their 6 drives in wherever they would like? Okay. Now we will go to those diamonds, the gilded. You can add 1 additional action of your choice. You can make gilded. So think about how you want to play your character. If they're more physical, maybe you take gilded in strike or move if you didn't have one there before.
So a total of 2 gilded, correct?
Yes, total of 2 gilded.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Are any of us playing physical characters?
I don't think so.
Makes it interesting.
I'm not.
All right.
I just
We're
want to know
on
who
a
to hide
boat.
behind.
What could happen?
I just need to know who to hide behind tonight.
I would choose walls and doors at this point.
Yes.
In the middle section, you'll see your role and your specialty. You'll choose 1 from each of those categories to fill in. This is your special ability. For example, if you have the role of face, you can do I know a guy. And once per assignment, which would be in D&D terms an encounter or a day, once per assignment, you can ask me who you know nearby that could help you. And I will instantly create someone for you that can provide you with the assistance you need.
Quick question.
Yes.
Unless I totally missed it, do we not add in actions as well under not just the ones that we start with for our class?
Let me check 1 second for you.
Based on reading the rule book, it's once you start with the ones with your class, then you pick one that's at 0, add 1, and then you get to add, I think, 3 or 4 more beyond that.
That very well could be the
Oh,
correct
the circles.
Yeah, I think I added 1, or it started 1, and then I added 3 based on that quick start guide.
Yep.
Then we'll say
Yeah,
yes to that.
Determine drives. It states choose 1 action with a 0 rating, raise it to 1, and then
Okay.
distribute 3 more points however you like to best reflects the character.
Thank you for catching that for me. All right. So once you've added those and chose your middle section, you'll look at the top right. You'll see things that say marks. This is body, brain, and bleed. On action failures or other environmental effects, you will take marks in your for body, for brain, or bleed based on what exactly happened. If any of those go up to full, you take 3 of them, you will take a scar. Now, a scar, hopefully in 1 session, no one gets 3 scars, but that is character death at that point. But a scar will knock you incapacitated, unconscious for that encounter, that brief little encounter moment. At the end of that, you'll take one of your actions and switch. So if you have an action in sway, you can erase one of those circles and move it to another one of your choice. And you will tell us how that scar, what it does to you and how it affects you and why you choose to switch it. For example, if you took a scar and you say that your leg, you will walk with a limp, you may remove an action circle from move and move it more into sense, as you are more aware of your surroundings because you're not moving as fast.
I've got another question for you.
Yeah.
On the sheet, as it comes, it has some of the action circles are bolded. Like on the one on our screen, it's read, survey, focus, and sense. Are those just a suggested quick start of what your character should look like?
That is how your specific role starts.
Oh,
So you
and
get
then you
get
add
a
three?
one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You technically add 4. You pick one that's at 0 and make it 1,
Mm-hmm.
and then add 3 more.
Oh, I just got
And-
way better.
And nothing can start higher than 2. I'm not trying to take the focus on. I just read through it this morning.
I
so.
appreciate it.
Yeah, nothing can start higher than 2 as well. So
There we go. Now, as we go further in, the relationships, these are questions that come in the book that we could go through in great detail. If we were playing a longer campaign, we would go through and fill in our relationships, who we know, how we know them, what brings you to here. But we'll skip through that tonight, and we will go straight to gear. Now, you can choose up to 3 gear elements, but you do not need to predetermine these. In the moment, you can choose which gear you have. So if you find you come up to a door that needs to be picked or blown through, or you can use a weapon, you could have that toolkit. Those are your gear that you can choose from, but you do not need to pre-declare it.
I happen to have this right now. Is that how that works? Like if you're in a
Correct.
situation like, I have this. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
There's a
definitely
blank
would have
line on
packed
here.
that with you.
There's
We've
a blank
seen
line
this
on
in-
here that means we can just pick something for that blank line can happen.
Yep. Creativity, if you come up with, I need a lockpick tool, and maybe your character didn't come with a lockpick, you can choose that.
Some of the things that you choose under your role and specialty will say you can add something there as well. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
we've seen this in other games that we've played as well. Of the you don't tell me you have it until you need it.
Isn't Blades in the Dark similar to that?
This is
That
very
one?
simple.
Same exact.
Have a flashback.
Yeah, this game is
I planned
very
for this.
similar to Blades in the Dark, but different in its own way.
All
I
right.
only got a chance to play that one.
Chiller Duskfall somehow.
We're going to talk about dice rolls a little bit here. When you make an action, you're rolling a d6 again, total number of dice that you have actions for. If you roll a 1, you choose the dice that you want to use at the end. So if you have a gilded dice, you may want to use the result from the gilded dice to earn back a drive, even if it's not the highest dice roll. That's a choice that you can make. But if you're using normal dice, so you're just rolling one singular ungilded dice, a 1 through 3 is a failure. You don't get what you want, and there are consequences. A 4 or 5 is a mixed success. You get what you want, but there are still some consequences. You may not get exactly what you wanted, but you get most of the way there. If you roll a 6, it's a full success. You get what you were looking for. There are no consequences. Now, if you roll more than 1 dice and you roll 2 or more 6s, that's a critical success. You get what you want plus more. So if you ever have that opportunity and you roll 2 6s, I will open up the door, pull back the curtain a little bit, and share extra information that you got lucky and found. Now, say you have an action rating of 0, meaning that you're told to make a move, but you have no circles filled in there. You roll 2d6s, and you take the lower of the 2. Now, this game is extremely collaborative. So, how do you help someone else? You can individually help. You can spend one of your own drive points to give a dice. Think of it as passing your own dice over to another player, and they can add that to their dice roll. It cannot be a gilded dice. Or you can do group rolls where everyone can help. One person's going to make the check, but everyone can add drive to increase this roll. The maximum number of dice you can ever roll on one singular action is 6. So if you have 3 actions, you're using your drive, you're up to 4 dice there, and 3 people try to help you, you can only use 2 extra dice. But if more people help, I will still take that into account when it comes to how successful it was or what comes out of it. So if you're all working together, you have a much higher chance of success. And like we talked about earlier, if you failed, you can use a resistance if you want to push back. You will re-roll the number of dice equal to the rating of that challenge. So if you have 2, you re-roll your 2 action dice. You don't re-roll all of the help dice. You only re-roll yours. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And we'll go through this as it comes up and correct things as I inevitably will make mistakes, and I do encourage, if you know the correct answer to something, fill it in for me. And we have one more thing to do with our character creation. Normally, this happens as you advance and level up further. But to show a little bit more about the game, we decided to add 1 circle ability to this group. So the circle ability was selected by Pat. So Pat, if you want to fill everyone in of what the Circle of the Sleeping Shore provides for everyone.
Sure. Thought this was pretty good.
Is it a night of restful sleep?
Cannot
Never.
provide you that, I'm sorry. In this together, super cute. When you spend drive to help an ally on a roll, on a result of 3 or less, you both earn back 1 drive point of your choice. So help each other out, and even if you fail, we still get something. So
Nice pick.
thanks.
So that about fills in the character sheet. Do we have any questions?
I do, yes.
Okay.
On marks, there's body, brain, and bleed. Does that
Mhm.
refer to how we take damage? I'm
Correct.
guessing? Got it.
So
So
if
if
something freaks you out so much, I may say take a brain.
Got it.
For the circle
freak.
ability, is that once per game, once per encounter?
As far as I understand it, with that specific one, it's all the time.
Anytime you spend drive to help someone, you both gain back. Yeah, if you roll less than.
Okay.
So if you help, but it doesn't help, you still win a little bit. So
Might be
let's
broken. Let's find out.
and let me correct something on the marks. You can get 3 marks. When you take your 4th mark is when you would take a scar.
4th mark in any category, right?
Correct.
Got it. And you clear your marks afterwards, right? So if I
Yes.
took 4 into body, that would then clear out body, and I would take a scar,
Correct.
probably a limp of some sort.
Is it to that? Is it 4? So if I take like 2 in body and 2 in brain, does that count as 4? Or does it have to be all 4 in body? It can be split up. It's just when you take 4 in one single category.
It's
Correct.
anytime you would take one and you have no more to fill.
You have no more marks to give.
I have no more marks to give.
It's a good song. I feel like you have the Dead South type vibe going on your costume tonight too.
That's about all we got.
I'll be very
That's not the Dead South type.
candid that all of these rules sound like I understand, but I have a funny feeling that as soon as we start, the lack of understanding will make itself very evident.
That is fine. That's what I'm here for. And luckily, we have some other people in this area that have also played this before. And if all else fails, I'll just open up the rule book and take a moment to look it up. Yeah,
Put that evil on me.
Woo! That's a good looking book.
Joey.
Love the good old-fashioned books.
Have
As
we
the
talked
professor says,
about-
if you don't know the answer, you just make everyone think that you do.
Yeah. Have we talked about the illumination keys yet?
The Illuminati. What?
So the illumination keys are when you advance in a longer campaign. So to dive into it a little bit, this is your goal, something that you need to do during the assignment based on your character. For example, let's play a character that no one's doing tonight. I don't think we have a doctor in the room. Is that correct?
Anyone? A doctor in the room?
I mean, technically, but not that
That
kind
is
of
a doctor.
The one of their illumination keys, they either need to avoid a fight, aid an ally, or comfort someone. And this
Mine
allows you
says I need to probe a witness, but do they need
Yeah.
to be willing?
Bruh.
Words as
What's
written.
that from?
Bruh, not that kind of probe.
Hey. It just says
Don't
probe a witness.
It's just
Nick, I don't know if you're
Banana
able
for
to pull
scale.
up the circle sheet. It's the very last one in the provided sheets.
I can make it happen, Captain.
All right. You can show everyone at least what that looks like.
On the fly editing. Dun-dun-dun. It's gonna be big. Oh, whoa, that was bad.
Oh,
That didn't work. Okay. Let me try something else. That was very funky. Let's see here. Boom. Done.
amazing. So, at the end of a assignment, you will go through your. This is your circle sheet. So for us, the circle of the sleeping shore, and you were just talking about the illuminations. That is on the right. So with the circle
Ooh.
advancement, you would fill those in.
I love the graphic design on this. It's very,
It's a very pretty sheet.
yeah.
And then the bolded circles represent milestones, which can give different benefits. So
Cool.
should we play this in a longer one, you would build up and the circle will get stronger as you go. This also is where the resources are: stitch, refresh, and train. This allows you to gain more actions or earn back your expended uses of drive or heal those bleed effects, those marks you have.
Now, I noticed that it came with a city and a whole setting, environment, everything else. Is it like Blades in the Dark in that there's like turf abilities or anything like that where you gain or lose ground or improve our Pharos or whatever that is?
Not so much in. It definitely won't impact anything tonight.
Well, right.
But a little bit about the city of New Fair. We have about 10 minutes left. So if there isn't any other questions, I can dive into a little bit of lore, general lore.
Go for it.
This is coming right from the Critical Role fandom. So these are not my exact words. This is the city of New Fair is built on the ruins of an older city, which is called Old Fair. So New Fair, Old Fair.
Huh.
This has advanced Old Fair that had advanced the knowledge of magic and technology. And phrase that will come up is called the Flare. It's a boundary between New Fair and another realm that's inhabited by these dangerous and strange creatures. Bleed is the reality distorting residue that is left behind when something crosses the Flare. You all are a chapter house in the bigger organization called Candela Obscura. They investigate incursions from beyond the Flare that make it into New Fair. They're made up of these small groups called circles, and they answer to a lightkeeper, sort of your boss, if you want to put it in very general terms. Usually, those that become lightkeepers are at the retirement phase of their journey with Candela Obscura. They have been the investigators, and notably, they have a lot of different scars that show how their journey went and how they barely survived, but it is too dangerous for them to go out into the field anymore. For this session, an important organization is going to be the government, known as the primacy. The primacy is highly influential, and they are the ones setting up this entire evening and event that we'll get into with our story. But when you hear the term primacy, just think of it as government.
Now, what is the magic level here? I think we talked about it as like we ourselves can't do magic, but there's magic around.
Some of you might have the ability to tap into magic, but magic is not commonly believed in. And magic is usually something that's enhancing or corrupting. More times, sadly than not, it's doing the latter. It's corrupting. So magic is something that has bled through. But some of you might have some abilities that allow you to tap into magic and control it or harness it at a cost, usually.
And can we talk a little bit about how this game is different from, say, D&D or a traditional medieval fantasy swords and boards?
Yeah, KP, who made this game?
This was made by Critical Role.
Critical Role? Wow.
No, really? That?
Not sponsored. Oh, hi.
Who's Critical Role?
But we'd be happy to.
We'll just call up our friend Matt and be like, hey.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this was created by Critical Role. This game came out in 2023, I believe. And it is, we didn't get this far without explaining it, this is a horror drama. This is not a happy-go-lucky game setting. Hopefully there'll be some laughs, just so it really emphasizes when the bad starts happening. God, there's my first sensor. I did it automatically. I cannot promise that will happen the rest of the session.
Right. So it's less beer and pretzels and more gin and trauma?
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I didn't go through the drink that I was drinking.
Oh.
Writing that down.
It's an average Friday night. Here we go.
It also takes place, Theater of the Mind is very heavy narrative theater for this one. A lot of descriptions and role play. You might look at your character sheet and go, I don't have a stat for my weapon. What weapon do I have? Do I have a weapon? What does my fist do? There are successes, mixed successes, and failures. There are no roll 1d8 plus 3 at advantage because you are in a pack tactics with your fellow wolf in this game.
Damn.
It's part of a conversation.
I swing my fist, maybe it connects, maybe I just snap my wrist.
There you go.
What if
I had a-
we ride on each other's shoulders? Will that grant advantage?
You can use it
I
as
do
a
have-
if there's a good
I
reason.
do have a question.
Yeah.
When it has the 6 is the success, the 4 and 5 is the mixed success, or like a success with some form of consequence or something like that. With the 1, 2, and 3 being failures, does that imply there's a consequence to the failure, or just it fails?
Yeah, so if there's a failure of any kind, even a mixed success, there is a consequence. Sometimes it may be your target gets away if you're chasing them. Sometimes it can be as bad as take 3 marks in brain as your head nearly explodes with the amount of knowledge as you looked into the Ark of the Covenant.
Sometimes you just feel bad about your actions. Right?
I have a tech
Right.
question.
Yeah.
So everything that I was reading, it says like turn of the century, but then I'm assuming that like basic tech, electricity, all of that kind of reigns supreme. Yeah? No?
Yeah, the city of New Fair has cable cars, but they
Okay.
still snap, crack, and pop as they go down.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. But we do have some basic tech needs, maybe a little bit historically more advanced than exact turn of the century.
So
Think
we're like,
steampunk.
we have electricity,
Love.
but all of our kids are still working in factories. Somewhere in there.
And not
Nailed
condone what your
Their hands
family...
are just so little and perfect.
Right? It's ideal.
Bringing home the bread.
And we're in Florida, so pretty soon. Never mind. Sorry. I can't help myself.
I guess the last thing to do is get ourselves set for session play. We will take about a 5-10 minute break. We're going to start right at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And so this is a good chance to refill your drink. And I'm talking to all of you at home that are watching. And we will see you at 7 o'clock.
Bye-bye.
Bye.